Me how? What's up? This Exodus One, aka Indigo Sky, aka Trigger Ranking, man. Y'all already know who it is. Just going through a little bit of content. See what we got going today. I'm gonna cut this down so I get this already down. Y'all coming in here, man. Y'all tap in. Let me know where y'all tapping in from, what city, what country. And y'all like, subscribe, you know what I'm saying? Just, support the channel. Cash App at the top, so in the description. Let's see. Let's see. I guess we're gonna start out with the petty show, y'all. Start out with the petty show. Let me go get my little jewelry. Let me go get my flexibles. Gotta get the flexibles. All right, we're going to the petty show. First video, Big Meat threatened 50 Cent for leaking Lil Meat snitch video. I was supposed to do a short on this one, but I'll probably do one maybe in a little later on. Hey, what's up?
I've never done that, and I don't even know where they come up with that, man. And then the guy's a rat, man. He's been working for the feds for 2 years now. You know what I'm saying? Cooperate. So deliver my paperwork, man.
What's up, y'all? Hit the like button.
If you on CNN, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but more, it's cool. Like sometimes we switch perspectives, so it's from
Banned from the tournament? What tournament you talking about?
instead of it being from the actual hustling side, the aspirational side, it's the
I don't know what you're talking about, right?
Okay,
Nobody. Because if you tell it, you can't even go home.
Okay, so 50 Cent blasted your meat.
yeah, we got a clown in here, bro. Hold on, y'all. Let me get this clown up out here, man.
The security who ended up taking the fall for everything said that he was asleep when Lil Meech threw everything in his lap.
It's in my bag. In the bag? Yes, I'm on my service. I'm a minor, sir. I have security guards. They left that in my bag, sir. I did not leave my bag.
Yeah, bro, we got some clowns. Some of these people just be clowns, bro, just coming in here.
50 sent him a text message telling him to stop talking about his son or face serious consequences. This comes after 50 leaked some crazy footage of Lil Meech snitching to police on his former friend and letting him take the fall for him. And now this friend is actually backing 50 and claiming he went to prison because Lil Meech snitched on him. Now, as you probably know, 50 Cent's been firing shots at the Meech father-son duo for months, and it looks like Big Meech has had enough. And let's just say things could get ugly if 50 keeps it up.
It's not legal. It's not legal. It's not legal.
All right, so let's get into this wild body cam footage 50 Cent just dropped that shows Lil Meech snitching on his friend.
I didn't know 50 dropped the
clip comes
footage.
from an arrest where Lil Meech's friend was arrested, and according to him, Meech sold him out to the cops.
Oh. Good, man.
In the video,
Hey, bro, y'all some clowns in here, bro. Y'all funny, though, bro. You good. You're a clown, dog. But you funny, though, bro. You're funny.
right after the cop mentioned
You're gonna be a clown. Be the best clown you can
That
be.
the officer had just said that having the gun wasn't illegal, but Meech's question led them to search the car again.
It's not legal.
Cash cup. What's that? Cash cup. Get cash cup.
To have a file. Huh? Oh, the other guy?
What is it like? Is it a game or something?
And get this friend who got locked up because Lil Meech snitched on him just went on IG and exposed exactly what happened. The man who goes by the name 3 Luck posted a series of photos showing him and Lil Meech hanging out, along with that body cam footage. And according to him, Meech snitched to the police and pinned gun and substance charges on him. The man wrote in the caption, "Reason I got to go do Fed time. See this bitch, I hate fake dudes like Lil Meech in my trouser life. Supposed to be real, but do ho-ish." He then threw shade at Big Meech, saying he raised a lame. And he said Lil
Damn, they
Meech
said
made
Big
him
Meech
take the
raised a
fall for
lame.
gun and substance possession while he was asleep in the car. And then he also brought up 50 Cent, backing him for exposing Lil Meech as a snake. He wrote, he admitted he was sorry and was gonna pay me back, including being disloyal to 50 at the same time. Why you asking 12, did they get the guns and the other stuff off me? That ain't a form of telling. See, the only reason I came around the Lil Drughead boy because thinking this dude Meech
The
was
Lil
like
Drughead
I've only been
boy.
known over 20 years, but come to find out he disloyal himself. How you with the same dude that put me in an effed up position? I spent hella money on lawyers and 3 different bonds because of him, but you so busy e-pulling than teaching this dude how to keep his face clean and being loyal to someone that was making sure he was straight and safe while he was so far gone off pills. And then this man also revealed that he lost his business, money, and is about to lose years of his child's life. All because Lil Meech snitched. He then
Damn.
referenced Big Meech's saying and wrote, "These the same dudes that say death before dishonor, that it's just words like I love you." Now as for Lil Meech, so far he hasn't publicly responded to these allegations. However, you already know who did. That's right, 50 Cent wasted no time airing out Lil Meech for being a rat. First, 50 shared a screenshot of power star Michael Rainey Jr.'s Instagram feed, and in the caption, 50 threw shade at Lil Meech, writing, "I'm proud of you, Michael. I looked at your page, LOL, see what happens when you don't use drugs and spend all your money on chrome heart jeans." And
Damn.
just hours later, 50 doubled down, reposting that body cam footage of Lil Meech
That nigga 50 is
on his
petty.
friend
Shit.
and screenshots from the friend with the caption, "Yo, how you gonna throw your strapping drugs on your man lap while he sleep? Like, here, this your ish, LOL." But 50 wasn't done yet. He later came back with another shady post and shared this photo.
This is Buick, now. Buick, exceptional by design. Get 0.9% APR on these 2025 Buick models.
50 wasn't done yet. He later came back with another shady post and shared this photo from the BMF show. And in the caption, he again trolled Meech, saying, "Pop, first he went to the airport with a gun and was popped and panicking. Now he on tape telling on his friends, and 50 really don't give an F, so you know this is bad." Now, just for context, this airport comment was a reference to another wild footage of Lil Meech that leaked, showing him getting arrested after TSA found an unloaded gun in his bag, and he didn't even have a license for it. But the craziest part about this footage is that Meech actually tried to claim he wasn't legally an adult, even though he was 23 at the time.
Yeah, I remember that.
Unfortunately, there's certain procedures we have to follow anytime something comes in that's prohibited, correct? So this is, you understand that, correct? You have your ID on it?
Sir, my ID's in my bag.
In the bag?
Yes, I'm a minor, sir. I security guard.
This man said that he's a minor. Nigga, stop lying, bro. You're a liar.
But until then, I have to put you in handcuffs until we figure this out.
Okay.
Okay, you understand that?
I call for my mom or somebody.
This nigga said, "Can I call my mama?"
Turn around for me, be cooperative.
Niggas be hard as hell till they get caught by the police. Then they want to call their mama and cry to their mama and shit. Like, nigga.
To top it off, Meech
Nigga.
used the "Do you know who I am" card and name drop 50 Cent.
Yeah, this nigga said, "Do you know who I am?" Like, nigga, no, we don't know who you is,
Anything else
bro.
on you at this point?
We do not know who you are, sir.
I understand.
Yeah.
Do you have a concealed weapons permit or anything
No,
like
I
that?
don't, sir. They left that in my bag. My little brother's outside waiting for me, sir. I promise you, sir, that's not mine. I'm security guard, sir. Thank you. You have a security hat on?
I'm at private school. I'm a good kid, man.
Them niggas, I went to private school. I'm a good kid, man.
Does he have security weapons?
Fuck, I hate with that
He
shit.
doesn't have like his ID and everything's supposed to be in the bag. I want to study for a second.
Looking at this shit, it made me feel like, hold on. Look, looking at this shit made me feel like, nah, not that. Hold on, I gotta switch the sound on the board, guys. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, hearing that shit made me feel like, nigga, your ass going to jail, nigga. Stop playing with me, folks. This man told on his security guard, you tripping.
Now you already know that 50 Cent lives for this kind of mess, and now with that new footage getting leaked of Lil Meech snitching on his friends, yeah, 50 just got handed premium content for his petty IG posts. But here's the thing, Lil Meech's dad, Big Meech, just broke his silence, and he's warning 50 to lay off his son. After 50 shared those shady posts about Lil Meech snitching and referenced Big Meech failing as a parent, Big Meech posted a series of photos with his son, and he wrote in the caption, "Nothing can stop us, we all the way up." But it turns out Big Meech isn't just posting up father-son photos. He might be making moves behind the scenes. So after 50 took multiple shots at Lil Meech about snitching, word started spreading that Big Meech personally reached out to one of 50's longtime associates. And according to a few industry insiders, the message was, "Tell him to stop playing with my son, or else." Now obviously, Big Meech isn't going online to talk tough on, that's not his style. But this energy shift is hard to ignore, and there's even talk that a few producers close to the BMF series left the show, possibly trying to cool things down before it spills into the real world. Now you gotta remember that 50 didn't just troll Lil Meech. The whole thing actually started earlier this year after Big Meech linked up with Rick Ross. That's what set 50 off, and he publicly accused Big Meech of being a rat. 50, implying Meech snitched to reduce his sentence under the First Step Act, and he shared a screenshot of court documents trying to suggest that Meech became a cooperating witness through his longtime associate Tammy Cowan. But here's the thing, nothing in Meech's actual case proves that he snitched. He served 27 years out of 30 years he was sentenced to, and that small sentence reduction was based on changes in sentencing guidelines, not cooperation. Also, there's this rare prison interview with Big Meech that recently leaked, and in it he denied the snitching allegations and said if he ever cooperated, it would have been all over the headlines by now.
You can look at my paperwork, man. My paperwork, if I was ratting it to be on CNN, you know what I mean? You better believe it, my dude. Yeah, be on CNN. You know, you got some people insinuate whole Big Meech telling on Mexican Town. Look on Wikipedia, it'll tell you that.
I don't know if y'all ain't had with a type of whatever, like, do you think that Big Meech actually snitched or
Real
whatever?
out of LA, you telling on me. Shit, you know, penitentiary rules is if you do not call a man hot or a rat or a snitch or whatever, you can operate with the government without having paperwork to prove it. You know what I'm saying? If not, you get your bitch ass up top, you check in or your car checks you in. You know what I'm saying? You know you're not supposed to say, oh yeah, I think Big Meech hot. No, you don't think that. You show that or you keep your...
You're not going to stop anything with the brakes that you got.
That's yep. But on carparts.com, you get access to over.
No, you don't think that. You show that, or you keep your opinion to yourself.
And this whole snitching drama is why fans are divided on this. On one side, some folks are saying he had no business calling Big Meech a rat after he served nearly 30 years behind bars. But then others are arguing that Big Meech's move to team up with Rick Ross was a major betrayal, especially considering how 50
Okay, so check this out. Being that Big Meats served damn near 30 years in jail. If he snitched on somebody, boy, he did some bad snitching, cause boy, you did 30 years, bro. Like how you told on a nigga. Like I got an old head right now. He did 30 years. And they were saying that the dude they got locked up with him, do they think that he snitched? But dude said, so the old head, he did 30 years to the door. The dude that got locked up with him did 29. So if you told that you did some bad telling, bro, god damn.
His family while he
You
was
didn't tell
locked
good
up.
enough in this
He's been
motherfucker.
acting great. Now, what's
You
also
got 30 and you got 29 shit.
predicted that this is actually the real reason Big Meech turned on him. According to 50, Big Meech felt threatened by 50's close bond.
Nigga did some bad telling,
In
bro.
an IG post, 50 explained why things fell apart between him and Big Meech, and he said it all comes down to jealousy. According to 50, Big Meech couldn't handle that Lil Meech was closer to 50 than to him, so he ended up cutting off his own son's financial support. 50 also claimed Big Meech was a bad influence on his son, pushing him to use substances and waste money, while 50 stepped in as a real father figure to help get Lil Meech on the right track. And the wildest part, 50 said that during the filming of BMF, Lil Meech hit a serious low because of substance problems, and 50 was the one who stepped up to get him.
Yeah, they say Lil Meech was on the whippers real bad.
I
Like
think he was uncomfortable with
he was on that laughing that nitrous oxide
doing
shit.
drugs. He telling him he used to do X like it's cool. I tell Mimi, chill, stop spending all your money. He telling him how much money he blew. People don't know I had to send Mimi to rehab. Russell,
They called it. I would never. I don't give a fuck.
Started throwing up at
If my name was
He
Demetrius,
told me
bro.
the little dude had whippets in his truck. I said, what the F is whippets? I look and it's the itch.
You ain't calling me Mimi, dog.
And if you look up some of the old interviews with Lil Meech when he first got the role in BMF, he always talked about how he was completely lost before 50 took him under his wing and paid for his acting lessons.
Well, 50 actually came and got me before I even knew I could even act at all. Before even acting was even a thought. My dad called me one day and told me that he wanted me to fly to Atlanta in his presence so I could meet 50 for the first time and see the first casting that he was doing. You know, so I flew out there and it was lying around the street. And the first time I met 50, you know, it was just genuine. And I sat by him and we actually got to watch people audition for a couple hours. And the next day he called me, 8 o'clock in the morning, woke me up. I'm like, damn, 50 calling me. So I answered the phone, he like, hey, what you think about going to acting classes? I want you to play your dad. And at first, you know, it sounded crazy, but of course, you know, I'm gonna do it. I'm not doing nothing, so of course I wanted to do it. You know, I just didn't know if I could do it.
However, Lil Meech totally blew that opportunity, and he reportedly spent $5 million he made from the show in just 3 years, and he didn't even invest in anything. He blew it all on cars, clothes, and jewelry.
Eddie charged me $200.
I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, if I had $5 million, I'm just saying, this is a pipe dream. If I had $5 million, bro, like 5 years from now, I probably could turn that into 100 million. Just being honest, bro, because like the investments that I would make, like everything is gonna accrue in value. Like it's gonna increase in value. I'm not out here. I'm not gonna be out here buying. Even if I bought jewelry, it's gonna be shit like Rolex watches, Audemars Piguets, like timeless pieces that are gonna go up in price. Like so, a lot of people don't know. If you got $10,000 in the bank, you put $10,000 in the bank. Boom. This a little bit of game for y'all. You put 10,000 in the bank. 5 years from now, that 10,000 between the bank fees and rates or whatever, if you just leave it in the bank, it's probably not going to accrue anything. But if you buy a Rolex right now for $10,000, let's just say you got 10,000, you spend 10,000 on a straight Rolex watch, bro. 5 years from now, that watch is going to be worth 50,000 at least. It's going to go up in price at least. I would say 500%. Yeah, probably gonna go up 500%. Like that's how certain shit like that work. Like Rolex watches, Audemars Piguets, It's not even smart to buy a car at this point. Cars don't accrue in value. Unless you get like a car that's like maybe a Rolls Royce or something like that, maybe, you know. But mostly cars, they decrease in value every year.
So just for this Cuban. This Cuban is like 1,100 grams. It's chunky, real big. I really can't have this on for longer than 3 or 4 hours. My neck started hurting. You know, you might find a regular Cuban for 50 or for 100 maybe, but it's 200 just for a kilo.
What's the pendant cost?
3 just for a pendant. Here, this is Antarctica. It's the big boy. It's this thing called Antarctica. It's the chandelier. I might have seen DJ Khaled with this song. It's that big boy, man. 2 million.
So
2 million. So
has a point here.
basically, that's 2.5 he spent out of 5 million right there already.
Now, as for the whole snitching thing,
So boom.
that's where it gets a little
So
more complicated. And
look.
Oh my God!
So he got a watch for 2 million. He got the chain alone is 200,000, a kilo chain. He paid 300,000 for the pendant. That's 2.5 out of your 5 million. Now let's just think. You got clothes. You got to worry about food. You got to worry about your car. You got to worry about just living expenses. Period. And nobody living for free. So you gotta think about rent. So you already down to you already down to 2.5 out of 5 million. So that's a lot of money going out of just like fruitless things or whatever. Like, I remember when I first had moved back to Atlanta, man, it was probably like the first week I was here. Ludacris had an artist, and the artist actually was at the gas station. I guess he just came from performing. It was over there in the Midtown area. And the young man was robbed and unalived for his jewelry or whatever. Come to find out, the man had fake jewelry on, bro.
Oh my God!
some sources close to me. That's where it gets a little more complicated. And now some sources close to Meech are calling out 50 for being a hypocrite and saying he picks and chooses who to label a snitch.
And do you think Big Meech like told on somebody to get out, snitched, get anything extra?
No. Let me tell you why. Big Meech people is public records. There is no proof that Big Meech said, hey, bust him, bust him, bust him. Now, the situation with the lady Tammy, the female that he's cool with or whatever, that's whatever. I was having an argument with somebody about this last night. Now, if we go by prison rules and standards, Big Meech didn't sit down with the agents and say, hey, my bro, we don't settle boy up for me, so make sure y'all give me credit. So we couldn't make a move on him because his name not in the paperwork for saying authorizing this. Now, what she did, what would happen, the killers, the homeless would be like, well, listen, bro, she your people, she did that with your name on it, so you gotta have her hit. You gotta either have her killed, or you gotta bring a move to her because she implicated your name, or the people got your name, your BMF, whatever, in this situation. You gotta handle this. So I was telling him, I said, bro, this is one of those situations where he had a ride or die. She jumped on like, I'm gonna get him out of here by any means. And you know, I say now we can't just over and say this. You know, people be like common sense. Well, man, did they have that talk? I don't know. So I don't think, you know, I got my own situation. I don't really think that for anybody else's situation anyway. But I do my content. But if you see, you know, it's selective politics and it's selective who they gonna call a rat or who they not gonna.
Damn, hold on. We're going to another one, y'all. Hold on.
all the way up.
So this is same shit, this petty show, but they say 50 Cent leaks Jay Prince Jr. and Boosie set up Duke the Jeweler. I don't know if y'all know, I think this was right before or right after. I'm pretty sure it was before Takeoff was unalived in Houston at a I think it was like a bowling alley, something like that. It was the Halloween night, and Takeoff was unalived at but they was playing dice, I think, when he was unalived or whatever. Duke the Jeweler, I think they say he won some money and was walking away with the money and got unalived. If I'm not mistaken, all this alleged, but let's listen to it and stuff.
Duke the Jeweler, the night before, we was gambling. The next day, Duke followed us to the concert. When we left out the concert, we went to the garage. Dude went to his car by himself and walked down to the parking lot. That's when somebody tried to kill him.
He's the one that's tied to the dude that makes the loaded dice. Right? Check the play out. All entertainers, when you go to Houston, stay away from Jay Prince Jr. The whole play going on. Here go the play right here. The play is the loaded dice.
Is that a jeweler named Duke recently got killed. And the story's really messed up. So I want you to talk about what happened.
Blood-stained dice rolled across the velvet table. Everyone smiled, but only one man would walk out alive. Duke the jeweler didn't die broke. He died surrounded by wolves. Now, there's blood on Mob Ties' hands, and the feds know it. Duke didn't get robbed, he got executed, and not by some masked strangers in an alley. He died after leaving Boosie's dice game, surrounded by people who dapped him up one minute and might have been sending signals the next. The same people are now under federal heat, and now 50 Cent is leaking the whispers, reposting the receipts, and hinting at a setup bigger than what anybody thought. And here's what makes this mess straight up cinematic. Just 2 weeks before Takeoff was murdered under eerily similar dice game circumstances, Duke was the one shutting down the table at a J. Prince Jr. dice game. And when the wrong man starts winning, that's when everything starts spiraling. Now, the entire Mob Ties circle is being watched. Boosie, J. Prince Jr., Lil Cam, all of them. And what started as whispers is turning into warrants. But how did we even get here? Let's zoom out, because what looked like a friendly dice game may have been a loaded execution from the start. From the outside looking in, Duke the jeweler was living the dream. Chicago native, self-made, built his brand from nothing. He wasn't just slinging iced out chains to SoundCloud rappers. This man was crafting pieces for big names, real clientele, and building a serious name in the industry. He didn't come to Houston for fun. He came for a bag. Boosie allegedly invited him down personally to talk about a custom piece. So Duke packed that $1 million Louis duffel with his best designs and pulled up. What he didn't know was that the meeting was about to double as his final goodbye. Now let's zoom in on that dice game. According to leaked audio from WAC 100, and yes, this is directly from a source tied to the streets. This wasn't just a friendly game of chance. This was a whole operation. Allegedly, J. Prince Jr. runs what's now being called a loaded dice ring. And get this, it's always the same three guys at the table: Lil Cam, Big Capri, and Wolf. The trio that rotates the dice like it's some passing ritual. The house always wins, unless someone fumbles the rotation. Well, that night, someone fumbled. According to WAC, Duke got past the dice that weren't meant for him, and they were loaded. He started hitting back to back, hundreds, then thousands, then tens of thousands, fast. And what happens when someone breaks a rigged system? The people behind it panic. Let's talk math. Jay Prince Jr., according to insiders, allegedly gets 30% of every dice night haul. So when Duke started draining stacks, that wasn't just luck, that was a financial threat. Add to that, Duke's energy that night was loud, confident, and flex heavy. He was dripping in diamonds, tossing stacks like confetti, and filming it all for Instagram. Now here's where it starts getting really off. If you pause the footage from that dice game, you'll catch Boozy making a soft whistle. Nothing aggressive. But then, his nephew immediately turns and locks eyes with Duke. Another man in a red hoodie taps the nephew on the arm, like a signal. Suddenly, the vibe in the room shifts. One moment, Duke was cracking jokes and tossing dice. Next, it felt like a countdown. And just minutes later, Duke is dead. This is the kind of tension you can't fake. It's not paranoia, it's body language. Because when someone walks into a room full of people who already decided how the night ends, you can feel it. And if you want even more proof that this was no ordinary game, ask yourself this. Why would a millionaire like Boozy bring a guest with over $1 million in jewelry into a dice game full of people he doesn't fully trust without offering security? Why didn't Jay Prince Jr. have protection set up for a known out-of-towner carrying that kind of heat? Well, let's rewind to the exact moment Duke left that dice game. He wasn't flanked by security, no team, no driver, just him walking solo through a dark Houston lot after being around millions in cash and ice all night. If that sounds off to you, that's because it is. But here's where it goes from suspect to sinister. Within minutes, shots ring out. Duke is ambushed and fatally shot. Now, usually in a setup or robbery gone wrong, what's the first thing taken is jewelry and cash. But Duke was found with everything still on him. So what kind of robbery leaves behind seven-figure jewelry? The same $1 million jewelry he was wearing to Boozy's concert before he died. And the real mic drop moment was that Louis Vuitton bag Duke was carrying, the one holding his most prized, unreleased jewelry designs, didn't just vanish. It showed up inside Boozy's house. Let that marinate. Houston PD confirmed this. Whether Duke handed Boozy the bag for safekeeping during the dice game or Boozy took it after the fact, we don't know. But one thing's clear, the bag made it back to Boozy. Duke didn't. And Boozy's response? A shaky Instagram live from a plane saying he barely knew Duke and claiming Duke just walked off.
He was walking to his car, some dude tried to rob him. Some dude tried to rob him. Some dudes had tried to rob me and walked off by himself. I had just met dude yesterday.
It sounds crazy. It sounds crazy as hell right here, dog. Like, what?
They tried to rob dude. Dude must have been here. Just met dude.
Didn't you say Duke was going to make you a custom chain? You barely knew him, but you invited him to a private dice game and let him walk to his car alone after flashing $1 million in...
Bro, you stay with the...
In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
Jewelry? Something ain't clicking. Then he continued.
We was in the garage. He must have walked outside to the parking lot. We was in the garage. We heard this, but it like it was far away in the parking lot. He must have went to his car or something. Dude was gonna make a piece for him too.
But let's be real, he didn't look like an innocent male. He was pale and worried, and if you thought that was bad, it gets worse.
You want
Beth,
pale, he
who
was
had
black
already
as
been
hell.
sniffing
He was
around
black
Boozy
as
for
hell.
other
He
legal
was not
issues,
pale.
decided to split Duke's case off into a standalone federal investigation. That means no delays, no stacking it behind past charges, just a laser focus on what happened to Duke. So they did what they do best. tracked the phone. Duke's last phone ping was Boozy's recording studio. So unless Duke's phone got up and walked there by itself, someone from Boozy's circle took it there. And they weren't even trying to be slick. They didn't wipe it. They didn't destroy it. The phone just went dark after that ping, meaning it was likely turned off manually. That's what got the feds heated. Next, they searched Duke's rental car. Forensics found prints from Boozy's nephew and Boozy's cousin. And just when it felt like this couldn't get more twisted, it does. A witness who was just outside the building smoking came forward, said they saw Duke walking alone toward his car. Everything seemed normal, but suddenly Boozy's nephew slid out from the shadows. It looked like he was waiting. Duke, sensing something was off, allegedly swung first, tried to defend himself, fought back, but he didn't have a chance. One quick motion, and Boozy's nephew allegedly pulled the trigger. And they didn't even try to stage a robbery. Why? Because it wasn't about stealing. It was about silencing. And then, instead of disappearing, they kept the bag. That's not sloppy. That's arrogance. And you know who else noticed all this? 50 Cent. Do you ever notice how when artists pull up to Houston, there's always that same warning? Make sure you check in. It's not official. It's not written down. But it's real. Artists.
I mean, checking in is real, but bro, if I was on a gang, I wouldn't be checking in with no other gang, bro. I'm going out there and I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. But when I go to places like New York, LA, I ain't got to check in, bro. Like, you know, I mind my business, bro. Like, I'm not a part of any of the politics of the city. I'm just coming for a vacation and leaving, and that's it.
Influencers, even athletes, they've all heard it. That if you're moving through Houston without checking in with Jay Prince Jr. and the mob ties circle, you're playing with fire. But here's the thing nobody wants to admit. What happens when the people you're checking in with are the ones setting you up? Let's be clear. Jay Prince Jr. was the host of the dice game Duke attended. The same host from the dice game where Takeoff was killed. And once Duke ended up dead.
Man, Takeoff got killed right after that.
A fifth third better means an early payday.
Crazy.
Want to know how I got my entire roof replaced for less than half what my neighbors paid?
Duke ended up dead, that check-in culture went from protection to suspicion. Because if Jay Prince Jr. truly ran the city the way he claims, then why is it that two men didn't make it out alive? Even Whack 100 couldn't stay silent.
The entertainer invites him in, act like he's covering for him, hanging out, everything's cool. Let's go here, let's go there, let's go here, let's go there. He introduces the dice game. He got three right, who rotate the dice. Now these dice is loaded. Tell me it's a Wolf, Big Caprice, and watch this, and Little Cam are the loaded dice rotators. Right? He said, why? There was a situation that occurred that a certain jeweler around and got past the dice on accident and was hitting all of them for a couple hundred. They got irritated about that. I ain't gonna go too far into that story because, right? Boom. The only way they could get their money back was money back. He said, but Lil Cam, Wolf, and Big Caprice are the three designated to say I got the neck, and they pass the dice to each other, but they loaded, but they shooting.
He called it a scam ring and said Jay Prince Jr. invites entertainers, plays the friend card, gets them comfortable, then walks them into a dice game where his people surround them.
The jeweler. I gotta do my research, see what jeweler might have been down there shooting dice. But nevertheless, to all the entertainers, Dukes of Hazzard was one of my favorite shows, right? I don't know if y'all watched it. I was thinking about Daisy Dukes for a reason. I don't know why I said that. One might go with it, may not go with it, but I don't know. If the math is math, and let it math. But entertainers, beware. Oh, wait. Jay Prince Jr., when he talked about let's go shoot some dice, because the loaded dice crew and three Cam, Wolf, and Big Caprice. We know Lil Cam in there because I believe somehow, some way, he was caught up in the dice situation. Rest in peace, Takeoff. I don't know what's going on. But what I do know is this, Jay Prince Jr. got a whole thing when y'all come into town, Hold on, bro. Didn't they Fifth Ward earlier that day shooting dice?
Yep, that's a fact. That word been out, West. That word been out. We been got that memo.
And then, so they getting hit all day and got to the front and back. They were like, that into dice. That's what this nigga Jay Prince Jr., boy, these niggas got all. Damn! He said the jeweler nigga got past the dice. He didn't even know the motherfuckers was loaded. He just think he hit. These niggas is mad as a motherfucker.
Damn, son.
How you pass this nigga the loaded dice on us?
Now, word on the street is that some artists are quietly distancing themselves, labels pulling out of Houston events, and it's becoming radioactive. Even 50 Cent has started to subtly air it out. He's been reposting clips, dropping not-so-subtle captions, and calling out the game. Some say he's playing with fire. Others think he's just the only one bold enough to say what everybody else is thinking. Sources say Boosie is panicking that the feds are applying pressure, separating this case from his past gun charges and digging specifically into the night Duke died. They've started looking into his mansions, his financials, even his son's digital trail. But the real chaos might be coming from his side. Allegedly,
I met
Boosie's
Boosie
own
and
girlfriend.
his son. Y'all go to my Instagram, y'all see a picture with me and Boosie on there.
Told someone that Boosie ran back inside that night, clearly hiding
Damn,
something.
son.
Yet he keeps pretending that he knew nothing.
We was gambling. You know, every party I throw gambling parties and shit. Dude was gambling. They trying to make false reps like the dude beat somebody out of some money, but the dude actually lost his money. Bro. Ain't nobody really win. You know what I'm saying? Like. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude lost his money and you know, folk dude left. Dude was like, man, I want to make a piece for you. I'm like, nigga, make me a gold piece. You know what I'm saying?
This is all he keeps telling everyone.
His car was outside the arena under where we was. It was on side the parking lot, so he had to walk to his car. And that's where the incident took place when somebody, you know, tried to get him or whatever. But
They don't try to get him, they got him, bro.
That ain't my mosquito, bro. You know what I'm saying? That ain't how you do it.
He's no longer among us.
None of my people get down. And that's just the bottom line. That's shit that we wouldn't do. And you know, we was fucked up about it because obviously they were watching us. You know, obviously they were waiting for anybody to walk across that parking lot to them cars and get in them cars. So, you know, it could have been one of us.
And now people are wondering, if Boosie falls, who's he bringing down with him? Because Boosie doesn't roll solo. His nephew is involved, his cousin is involved. His name is now tangled up with Jay Prince Jr.'s name, who's already under pressure after Takeoff's death. The threads are crossing, and they're all leading back to one table, and it gets even messier. Finesse 2 times, the same artist Mob Ties once stood behind, is now airing out everything. From shouting out Jay Prince Jr. in interviews to barely saying his name, it's clear something flipped. At first, the fallout looked quiet. Finesse just stopped showing up around Jr. No concerts, no backstage hangs. Then the whispers started. Apparently, the whole thing started over a woman. And not just any woman, Finesse's baby mama. A few months ago, she and her mother allegedly lined him up, called the cops on him, and got him locked back up for violating probation. And guess who stepped in to get him out? Jay Prince Sr. himself. Behind the scenes, he made a few calls, and Finesse was back on the streets within 2 weeks. But instead of showing gratitude, Finesse went right back to the same girl. That's when Senior had enough. He got on Twitter and said this with his chest. I told the homie to stay the FK away from that woman if he loves his life. But the homie wouldn't listen to my words, even though I had to step in to get him out of prison. Y'all better be careful out here thinking these women have your best interest at heart. And here's where things get even messier. Rumors started that
Crazy.
Prince Jr. might have gotten Finessa's girl pregnant behind his back. Now, is it confirmed? No. But the fact that people believe it, and Finesse
I ain't
hasn't
know
denied
that
it,
one.
tells you everything you need to know. And while some fans chalked it up to drama, others started seeing the pattern. Junior has beef with Takeoff's family. He's feuding with Boozy behind the scenes. And now Finesse is publicly spiraling. People are asking, how many bridges can you burn before the whole empire collapses? Because here's the truth. When you build your reputation on silence, fear, and power plays, all it takes is one person to flip. One artist, one friend, one witness, and it's all over. So now the question is, will it be Boozy who speaks first? Will Finesse finally say what really happened? Or will 50 Cent's obsession with exposing mob ties push
Yeah,
Jay
we got
Prince Jr. to do
one
what
say
no one
Bron's
else
a
can ever do,
weirdo.
break the code of silence, and save him?
Alright, y'all, we gotta go to the next
Like
one.
I see
All
a
this
lot of
petty
players
story, y'all. All this
take
petty.
vacations with other players that are close friends. And we'll just take vacations, just take vacations, or just hang out, just to hang out. Like I never do that.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. When this is done, we gonna drink a couple of bottles of the most premium wine.
Please.
Man, Bron look like he having a lot of fun with Diddy, boy.
On his chest.
When LeBron retires, his number will be called to. Okay, this is how the deep state. He thinks that he's just going to retire, and that's why he doesn't want to retire. And so that tattoo is tattooed on LeBron's chest.
This audio of Kobe exposing LeBron was never meant to surface, and now LeBron and his NBA bosses are scrambling to erase it because Kobe is calling out people by name and dropping hints about LeBron's secret lifestyle at those Diddy parties and his rumored membership in the Boule or the Black Illuminati. And now multiple sources are saying that NBA executives are desperately trying to block some incriminating footage of LeBron and Diddy from leaking. So everyone's asking the same thing. What did Kobe know and who was trying to shut him up? What's the connection we missed between LeBron, Diddy, and the Boule?
This counterfeit like LeBron James, who has that Boule logo tattooed on his chest.
All right, let's talk about one of Kobe's last recorded interviews, where he talked about the industry parties other players went to, including LeBron. In this short clip, Kobe said he was lucky because he wasn't invited to the parties, and he said it was the best thing that could have happened to him.
I wasn't invited to party. I think that was the best thing that could have ever happened to me.
Now here's the context of this short audio. According to the metadata, it was recorded in early 2020, just weeks before the crash, supposedly during a casual meeting with an independent journalist. So now people are asking, why was Kobe saying this? And what happened to the rest of the interview? And what's wild is the timing. Within 48 hours of the clip leaking, multiple NBA media outlets started scrubbing older footage, including footage like this of LeBron and Diddy partying together.
LeBron James, they're pulling up all of these old videos.
Wow.
Disney Plus, Hulu, and HBO Max together for
LeBron in there like he having fun with Diddy, boy. That nigga, they dancing and everything. What the hell?
All of these old videos.
Hold on.
LeBron was partying with Diddy, and they seem like very close buddies.
Now, Kobe didn't go
They
into
look real
detail
close
or
to me.
accuse anyone of crimes in that audio that leaked. But the fact that he mentioned he was lucky he didn't get the invite to industry parties tells you he knew what was going on behind closed doors, and he didn't want any part of it. But to really understand why this hit so hard, you have to look at how Kobe moved in his final years, like who he stopped working with, who he distanced himself from, and what he saw coming. So let's talk about it. You probably know that Kobe was in that circle at one point. He had the Nike deal, the A-list invites, and the access. He could have played the Hollywood game just like LeBron did, but then things shifted and Kobe started turning down deals and not showing up at the same events. And that wasn't accidental. He was building something different with Granity Studios, his storytelling company. It was all independent with no major label backing and no NBA branding. And Kobe talked about his plans to mentor the next generation and teach them a different kind of mindset about success.
Granity Studios, what does the word granity mean?
It means greater than infinity.
Mm.
And I just took those words and made a new word.
Greater than infinity. Granted.
And the whole idea
Granted.
that playing the game, everything was about trying to be the best. Win as many championships as you can, You get older, you start to understand that really it's about the next generation. But these championships do come and go, right? And there'll be other people that win championships. But the most important thing you can do is to pay everything that you learn forward to the next generation.
Next generation.
And that's truly how you create something that lasts forever.
What's interesting is that around the same time, LeBron launched
that's
the
good
shop with
thinking.
Maverick Carter, a project backed by HBO with Diddy and Jay-Z as guests and collaborators.
For me, what I tell artists that's really trying to be somebody and ask advice and really trying to have longevity, I say you have to be the most fearless artist you could be, but you have to have an athlete's mentality and an athlete's discipline.
I didn't even do nothing. That's what I'm saying. I wake up and like, oh my God. Like, what did I do last night? I did absolutely nothing.
And all these projects LeBron was getting involved in ran through the same media pipelines as Diddy and Jay-Z's public persona, the same black excellence branding with none of the accountability. But Kobe didn't want to go near it. He kept his circle tight and started distancing himself from the celebrity crowd. And he made it clear in interviews that he didn't trust a lot of the culture forming around celebrity athletes. And at the same time, he didn't care what other players thought of him.
Do you have friends? Do you have like guys you hang out with?
Do I have friends? No, I have no friends.
I'm a code. We got a private jet. Up front is a table of 4 playing cards up there. Kobe sits in this one seat, and Shaq had a bed. Like, we were spread out. And I'm watching Kobe like this. And I'm hearing dudes like yap about him. I'm not gonna say names, Ty Lue. They talking smack about the young fella. And so I'm looking, acting like I don't know what they're talking about, and I'm hearing, this can't be fair. And I go, and I sit next to him. He goes, oh, what's up? And I go, you're not listening to anything, are you? He goes, no, I'm listening to them. They think I'm on. And I was like, really? He goes, yeah. I said, doesn't bother you? He said, nah, I know who likes me, who doesn't. I don't hang out with them anyway. My friends in Italy.
I always keep people on just, I'm very outgoing. I'll talk to anybody, but in a certain limit. I'm not gonna let just anybody into my family circle.
Kobe didn't want to join the club, and that distance, it pissed some people off because Kobe had a lot of influence and he wasn't using it the way they wanted him to. So looking back, that short audio of Kobe saying the best thing that ever happened to him was not getting an invite to industry parties starts to make a lot more sense. He saw what players like LeBron were getting up to, and he wasn't going to be part of the circle. But just as he was pulling further away, the crash happened.
There is also breaking news tonight of the helicopter crash that killed Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and 7 others. Tonight, authorities say there is no evidence of engine failure, and so now a new focus on the pilot and other conditions. Again tonight, ABC's David Crowe.
Tonight, what may be the last picture of the helicopter Kobe
was
Bryant
bad
was
day,
aboard,
man.
disappearing into the Sunday morning fog and clouds in Southern California.
That was a bad day.
No signs the rotors or engines failed.
I was so hurt.
They appeared to be operating at the time.
Me and Kobe the same age,
Hearing a
man. That shit
normal
hurt
sounding
bad.
helicopter, according to the NTSB report. Bryant, his daughter, and friends heading to a basketball game, along with the pilot. All 9 died in the fiery crash.
Now, we're not going into all the conspiracy theories about the crash, but what we do know is this. The people Kobe was distancing himself from are the same ones who are now scrambling to bury all the incriminating footage. So, what exactly were they trying to hide? Well, that brings us to the cleanup. Because right after the audio leaked, certain clips, interviews, and event footage tied to LeBron and Diddy started getting scrubbed from the internet. And as you probably know, this connection between LeBron and Diddy didn't come out of nowhere. It goes way back, and it's actually way deeper than just 2 celebrities partying together. So you probably saw that clip of LeBron saying there's no party like a Diddy party.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah. Turn around and vibe. And Bron, when this is done, we're gonna drink a couple of bottles of the most premium wine. Please. When this is done, we're gonna drink a couple of bottles of the most premium wine. Please.
Now, to be fair, this clip alone doesn't prove anything. Just about every A-list celeb ended up at one of Diddy's parties at some point. But LeBron wasn't just another face in the crowd at those parties. For years, there have been rumors that LeBron had a much closer relationship with Diddy. And now, even more clips of the 2 of them together are starting to surface. November 2018, LeBron showed up at Diddy's 49th birthday party in LA. On the same night, the Lakers got crushed by the Toronto Raptors. But that didn't stop LeBron from partying like nothing happened.
LeBron, how you doing tonight, man? Yo, you wish Diddy happy birthday, man? Where you get the man that has everything, LeBron?
Meanwhile, fans started calling LeBron out in public, even heckling him over the rumors about Diddy's parties. And let's just say, he wasn't laughing about it.
Ron! We know you was at the Diddy party, nigga! We know you was there! We know you was at the Diddy party!
And that's when Jaguar Wright jumped in and made some wild accusations about LeBron and Diddy parties, and she even dragged LeBron's son, Bronny, into it.
Listen to me, LeBron, all I'm gonna say to this, and I say this with all due respect to the young man that they call Bronny. Your daddy is Shluminati. Your daddy has been diddled by the diddler, and I pray to God he has not set you up to be
Damn, son.
I pray Lil Bronny don't come out with a story talking about he woke up at Diddy's house and
Damn, son.
I'm hoping we don't hear that from Lil Bronny. And I'm also trying to figure out if when that young man almost dropped like he did, because they've been playing Dr. Frankenstein with him like they've been playing Dr. Frankenstein with his dad. I hope that ain't had nothing to do with it.
And then on top of all that, LeBron's name actually popped up in one of the lawsuits filed against Diddy. The lawsuit was filed by Joseph Manzaro, a man who claims that he was S.A.ed at a Diddy party and that LeBron saw him there. According to court documents obtained by People, Manzaro claims someone slipped something into his drink before he was taken to a house on Miami Star Island for Diddy's son Christian's birthday in April 2015. The house belonged to Gloria Estefan and her husband, Emilio. And according to Manzaro, Gloria noticed he looked unwell and asked someone to call an ambulance. However, Emilio allegedly shut it down. And this is where LeBron's name comes in. Manzaro claims that while he was wandering the house wearing only a bath towel, he bumped into LeBron in the hallway. And LeBron allegedly turned to someone and said, "Y'all better do something about that." According to the lawsuit, Manzaro was then taken through a hidden underground tunnel to Diddy's mansion. And when Manzaro started to regain consciousness, he realized someone had strapped an adult toy to his face. The lawsuit states, a locking adult device was affixed to the mask which protruded from his mouth. Plaintiff was then subjected to degrading and non-consensual acts. Manzaro said that he heard someone in the room say that Diddy wants him to see what happens to snitches. And in his lawsuit, he described the event as a freak-off. Now, as for LeBron's response, his spokesperson quickly denied the allegations and told TMZ, "This is demonstrably false and doesn't even merit a report or response. A basic internet search shows what LeBron was doing all of April 2015. He was playing basketball for the Cleveland Cavaliers and never in Miami." However, fans were still giving LeBron the side eye since the statement didn't really clear anything up, and his rep didn't say if he actually had an alibi for that exact day. Sure, he was playing with the Cavs in April 2015, but that wouldn't have stopped him from hopping on a flight to Christian Combs' birthday party. But what no one talks about is that there were people behind the scenes funding these parties and Diddy's whole rumored blackmail operation. And these people are the same ones managing media deals, endorsements, and press coverage. Diddy's empire and LeBron's clutch circle don't just overlap, they share handlers. Remember when LeBron got that $90 million Nike deal before he played a single NBA game? Yeah, that wasn't just about talent, that was network access. The same way Diddy got his Revolt Media platform greenlit through Comcast. It's basically the same doors, different suits. Besides that, you know the media called LeBron King James in high school? His first season, the entire Cavs franchise was built around him like a campaign, not a team. There was no vet treatment, no bench grind, no waiting behind legends. LeBron didn't go through the fire like Kobe did. He walked in with the crown already on his head. So now a lot of people are connecting the dots. And according to one popular theory, the reason Diddy and LeBron enjoyed special treatment for so long is because of their rumored membership in the Boule. But what exactly is Boule? And why do people call it the Black Illuminati? Well, it's because that's exactly how it moves. The Boule, officially called Sigma Pi Phi, isn't some internet myth. It's a real organization founded in 1904, before the NAACP, and before most black leadership institutions even existed. But it wasn't for everyone. It was for the select few black professionals, doctors, lawyers, politicians, bankers. But the Boule doesn't just recruit high achievers, it targets influencers, people who can control culture and redirect attention. Athletes who suddenly go corporate, or rappers who start pushing political messages, but only the kind that are safe to the status quo. By the way, remember Jonathan Audi? Back in 2018, most people wrote him off as unstable after he stormed Trump's Miami resort, but what got buried was his police interrogation, where he said Diddy was part of the Boule, or the Black Illuminati.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do you know this?
Do you know Sean Combs?
I'm dead.
Yeah.
He did whatever he called himself. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's part of what's called the Boule. The Boule is a branch of the Illuminati.
Audi also claimed that Diddy is connected to the political elites through his lawyers, Mark Geragos and Ben Meiselas, which is interesting because one of the lawyers who defended Diddy in the RICO trial is Teeny Geragos, Mark Geragos' daughter.
I had settlement with Sean, okay? And he belongs to that agenda. That's why he's so famous. They land on the contracts. It's his attorneys, which are Mark Geragos and Ben Meiselas. Ben Meiselas worked for Bad Boy Entertainment for 4 years and worked for Henry Rodman for 5, okay?
So fast forward to now and looking at the Kobe leak, the Diddy verdict, LeBron's silence, and all the footage getting erased, it all lines up way too well. And that brings us to the NBA's role in all this. Because the NBA and their media partners are panicking right now and removing all footage of Diddy and LeBron together.
There's DIY, and there's doing it yourself.
I've had muff come at me on some weirdos, like on some gay shit. I've had muff come at me on some, oh, you should do this. And I was like, what? Man, what the fuck? I mean, no sense. I view that as being inhuman. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of things that I want to teach, but I'm afraid. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm scared because I got 4 grandchildren.
I mean, there's rappers right now that might go on as far as to name that album, I'm getting to break that. That's
serious?
That's serious.
It's a lot. I know that I want to tell you. It's a lot of things I want to teach, but I'm afraid. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm scared because I got 4 grandchildren. And I got children.
Damn, son.
New breeder rapper that's paying DJs to play this shit. And, you know what I'm saying? They sucking the record label executive. And it's like there's too much of that going on.
They really tried to bury these interviews with DMX.
Damn, son.
It didn't work. And now we have these 2 legends on camera saying the stuff nobody's supposed to talk about. That to make it big as a male rapper, you're going to be asked to do things that have nothing to do with music.
So, okay, whoever in here, if y'all want to comment, do you think big artists or artists, period, do they got to go through like a ritual to get in the industry, something, against their beliefs? Like,
it's not the same. Does it have to do with talent? It's about playing the game. The industry, real, is dying to get in. The industry, just to find they don't fit in. The industry ain't what it used to be. The industry's trying to control the way you MC them. They want you to just like this and talk like that. But I'm going just like this and talking back.
For decades now, there have been rumors that the rap game isn't just music, it's manipulation.
Damn,
that
son.
powerful people behind the scenes control who blows up and who gets shut out. And worse, eliminating rituals to break them physically, mentally, and spiritually.
Having read some things on bisexuality, my story was different. I just found that I would open myself up to the possibility of a relationship based on the person and not on gender.
To pledge, to be a pledge. In order to climb the ladder.
Like this man here, Clyde Davis, so old right now. Like this man, I think I don't think this is like allegedly, I would say. This man got dementia. They asked him, I did it. That man, they said Who? That man ain't know who the hell Diddy was. He brought Diddy in the game. You know what I'm saying? Him and Andre Harrell. Yeah.
Haze, and when you're getting haze, you get your ass.
So you say like basically?
Yeah. Rich, you know what I'm saying?
I've been hearing stories since 1990-something. I don't talk about that. My personal opinion is, if you talk about it too much, something bad will happen to you.
Out of curiosity, was you gay when you was on death row?
Yes. Was I having relationships with guys? No. Was I doing things with guys that would probably be deemed to be gay? Probably so. You know, I did some things, and they would be considered gay. But those guys are straight down. I mean, relationship stories.
Was some of these individuals that you was messing around with,
Yeah. I thought you were going to say what they're on death row. Yeah, that was in the industry. But what's else I hang around? I want to just hang around with people regular neighborhoods.
Was they R&B singers or producers or?
I had like 2 record deals, right? And
They wanted your butt?
yeah, it's not even funny now. I'm not a homosexual. I never been a homosexual. Nobody ever played with my butt. But what happens is
You know butt after that last point. You period that, and then you move on to the next
nobody
sentence.
never did yet.
That's it. Nah, I mean, but listen, what I'm saying is, you know, they proposition, they do things indirectly, like they might send a stylist at you. Right? They might send a stylist at you. And the stylist being all extra technical, homie, we ain't doing that. Or they might invite you to a party and there's no bitches there, it's a sausage party. Wait, hold on, now, I'm saying, you know what I mean? So a lot of guys, artists that get into this game, they want to get deals, they get in, they got talent, good intentions.
Put the dress on for attention. He did that for attention, did you not?
We are looking for gamers who want to learn how to become video game testers, designers, or programmers. If any of these interest you, then swipe to the left to see if you qualify.
This game design program has no application deadlines, meaning you can start classes soon. And it's offered at an accelerated pace, meaning you can
Put the dress on for attention. He did that for attention, did you not? Tell the truth, God knows the truth. God knows the truth. Tell me that God knows the truth. You did it for attention, man. You did it because you knew, man, ain't nothing nobody can say about me because I'm real out here and I'm thorough. Gonna give me a lot of birds, something to do with it. Makes more sense. They gonna win myself. This the real truth. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. The motherfucker makes more jealous. Make the motherfucker match. Just that simple.
Now we heard these types of stories from many rappers over the years, but it was DMX and Coolio who first tried to warn everyone, and yet no one listened. DMX claimed the industry tried to break him, and he talked about spiritual battles, being targeted, and people trying to control him.
I'm curious how a guy, you sold how many records?
28 million.
And made millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
How did you end up in here?
I think everyone who's watching knows how I ended up in here.
I don't know if they do.
I'm pretty sure they do. Then I met the devil in God's country. You know, and it's not so much
the
cool.
devil in
It's
God's
what,
country.
you know, what happens and the things that the devil does.
As for Coolio, he claimed he saw young male artists being used, pressured, and pushed into stuff they didn't want to do, just to get signed or stay on top.
Listen, you know what I'm saying? If you got the conviction, bro, and you got the heart. It takes heart, bro, because it's not something that's guaranteed and it's not promised, bro. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, and if it's not, it's not. But I would say that if you really want it, man, you gotta stay in it. You gotta be willing to do as much for yourself as you can, and don't be waiting on nobody else to do nothing for you. You gotta be willing to go take that stuff.
All right. But let's start with DMX, because he wasn't scared to name some big names. including powerful people in the music business like Jay-Z's mentor Lyor Cohen.
You actually invented the 360 deal yourself? I wouldn't say I invented the 360 deal. What I needed to do, everybody has the ability to sign the contract and to roll with whomever they want to roll. To roll with me, I needed to have a more skin in the game. The point is that you and I are going to be partners.
First meeting I ever had, I was like, we gotta sign DMX, and they laughed at me. I remember when I left the office, Tina Davis said, she knew I wanted to sign DMX. She said, DMX don't sell. Yep, it's fire. Jay and Bang did not believe in DMX. Jay would be like, you think he's better than me? And I'd be like, he's nice just like you. I said, if you look in the hood, there's less of like you and more like him. Yeah, but he don't want to live that. He's depressing, Gotti. And I said, I don't give a. So Jay used to watch me grind with X, and he was off with the Hitman. And then something strange happened when I made Get At Me Dog. If you remember at the beginning of the video, it's the heart. DMX, live with the tunnel. Y'all remember the tunnel. Funk Master was doing, and then I put that sound bite. Let's take it back to the streets, mother. The video's flashing, you know, your eyes, it caused change. And now, there's no more shiny suits. We back to the hood, and X is the leader of this revolution. I used to put on more and try with 5. And he was like, they used to clown me. He used to be like, who's gonna buy his records, Gotti? Chihuahuas, he's barking. No one wants to hear that bullshit. And I'd be like, yeah. Soul 5. There was no more writing on the walls. It was, y'all can get behind me. I used to tell Leon to miss the whole staff, and I would tell him, shut the fuck up, yo. I said, you work better when you shut up and get behind me. Now this is what we doing. And he would shut up.
You know, I said I had a crazy track record that jam, everything was good. I'm going to do a 6th album. And, you know, somebody else said, so, yeah. You know, when he first got the job, he hit me with the call like, yo, dog, it makes us run in the building like, yo, you good? Finish the album, shoot the video. What happened? On vacation, and, you know, we don't know. What you mean you don't know? How do you listen to a whole album, pick a single, shoot a video, then don't know? Okay, I see what's really good. You trying to elevate the competition. You know, because at first you retire, you know, then get me off the label, now you back rapping again. Okay, it's all good.
Jay-Z and DMX played the game very differently. Jay played by the industry rules, while DMX called them out. X Event went as far as to expose rappers who bend over for a record deal. And when he said bend over, he meant it literally.
They got this new breed of rapper that's paying DJs to play. You know what I'm saying? They suck in the record label executive. It's like there's too much of that going on. Right. You know what I'm saying? Let me be me. Let me be the artist that I am and just play my mother music. You know what I mean? Exactly. Now they want you all up under this, you know, sitting at the going to dinner with them and like that, and you know, all that favor for a favor shit. I don't get down like that. Look, I'll give you the music, you give my money. That's it.
Fast forward to 2005 and DMX released his iconic track, The Industry.
Peak performance starts with prioritizing rest.
2005 and DMX released his iconic track, The Industry, breaking down how the game really works and how young artists get compromised the moment they step into it.
The industry, man, it's not the same. Doesn't have to do with talent, it's about playing the game. The industry, real is dying to get in. The industry, justifying they don't fit in. The industry ain't what it used to be. The industry is trying to control the way you MC. They want you to just like this and talk like that. But I'm going just like this and talk back. The industry got your word meaning nothing. The industry, what you heard because he's bluffing. The industry, money, hate, but I dare you trying to take a thing off my plate.
Jay-Z's been deep in the game since day one, and over time, people have accused him of throwing peers under the bus with help from his mentor, Lyor Cohen.
My parents, incredible parents, 3 other brothers, and just the loving, happy family. My dad was the head of psychiatry for Kaiser Permanente, and my mother was just a housewife and raising children, and remarkable period in my life.
Now, I've always assumed that you were born in Israel because you have like a slight accent when you speak. Have you heard this before?
Yeah, so my parents weren't immigrants because they weren't staying here.
Okay.
So my biological father was coming here just for his education. And my mother worked for the Israeli government. And so when I was born, I went straight back to Israel.
Oh, so you stayed there for
I spent my first 3 years in Petah Tikva.
Okay, and after you graduated, you went to go work for the Bank of Leumi?
Yeah, Bank of Leumi, the National Bank of Israel. My mother got me the job, and it was just when the Shah fell in Iran, and all of the Persians came to switch to Beverly Hills. So we're counting money there. And you know, I was supposed to be a financial analyst, but I ended up counting money, and I think I was making $14,000 a year. I was miserable. It was horrible existence. But my mother got me the job. I have a college degree, and so I thought that was the responsible thing for me to do.
But the wildest thing about Lior is that he actually admitted on camera to signing artists who glorify substance use, knowing full well there's a massive opioid crisis going on.
One of the biggest artists you ever had was had a real bad drug problem, DMX.
I'm so sad. DMX, there's two people inside of him. And the Earl is one of the nicest people. I put him up in Lake George. Earl loved being silent with the fishing pole. I shit you not. He just would stay on that dock hours and hours and hours and hours. Yeah, very, very sad. You know, I think the opiate problem, the syrup problem, is the biggest problem that I've ever seen and I've ever faced. And been a part of, and I can't.
Okay, but the craziest thing is, nigga, you sign artists that's on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you making money off of niggas that you say this is the biggest problem. Like, come on, man. I ain't trying to get nobody job took or nothing right there. I'm just saying, like, but the man, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a conundrum or some bullshit. Like, I don't know what to say about that one.
But at least the rappers were bringing a spotlight to you becoming a fiend. Okay? And I thought that spotlight had helped, even though it was harsh and really hard, really rough, particularly on women. But I think it helped change the course of the crack epidemic. I don't know what's this opioid thing, man.
Well, being a crackhead wasn't
with
cool
you
back then. Being a crackhead wasn't cool. Now it seems like they're making it cool to be drinking weed.
It's the most dangerous. It's the most dangerous thing that's facing our society.
So why sign an artist that would promote that?
Because I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention. She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent. But I have to. I can't give up on people.
What I'm saying, that's hypocritical though.
It's opportunistic. Yeah, I got people to feed.
However, it gets even darker than this. DMX understood these industry rituals on a deeper level, and he believed there's a spiritual war going on behind the scenes.
Whenever I went through something,
Whenever I went through something, it brought me closer to God. And I stayed into something. So now I'm closer to God. But being closer is hard. The attacks get stronger, become much harder to fight, and they last long. That's what it's always been. Joy, pain, dark with the light, sun with the rain. With the right perspective, can be something to gain. You feel the good and the bad.
DMX believed the
So looking
industry's
for the
darkness
good
ran
and the
deep.
bad. Hey, I love
He
DMX,
believed the
man. That's
devil
my
was real,
nigga, bro.
and some people in the game were working with that
Fuck with
energy,
it.
pushing artists to sell their souls.
I seen it before. Like I was this close to Edge, bro. Like for real.
How about I pick lyrics?
Who We Be. I think you'll like these lyrics. The hurt, the pain, the dirt, the rain, the jerk, the fame, the work, the game.
I like what you said. Yeah.
The friends, the foes, the bins, the hoes, these studios, the shows. Why don't you just read it? I like the way
shows,
you.
it comes and it goes. Jealousy, the envy, the phony, the friendly, the one that gave me slugs, the one that put them in me, the snakes, the grass, too long to see. The lawnmower sitting right next to the tree. It's right there, there's more that grass and you see snakes.
So you write
everything I say, yes.
Yeah, I mean that's you write all of your songs.
All of it. I wouldn't be able to call myself an artist if I didn't write.
You've had, I guess I'd call it a gospel song, or certainly
gospel song and a conversation with the Lord on every album.
On every album. Lord, give me a sign. I pulled some of those lyrics out. Tell me what these lyrics are and what they mean.
This is a conversation with the Lord. Really you talk to you, Lord. This is the last time we talked. The walk has been hard. Now I know you haven't left me, but I feel like I'm alone. I'm a big boy now, but I'm still not grown. I'm still going through it. Pain and the hurt, soaking up trouble like rain in the dirt. And I know only I can stop the pain. Just a mention of my Savior's name. In the name of Jesus. Devil, I rebuke you for what I go through, trying to make me do what I used to, but all that stops right here. Long as the Lord's in my life, I will have no fear. I will know no pain from the light to the dark. I will know no shame, spit it right from the heart, because it's right from the start that you held me down. I ain't nothing they can tell me
hard.
Lord, give me a sign.
You had a song on every
Lord, give me a
conversation
sign.
you've had.
And a prayer.
And a prayer, and I think you've had three conversations with the devil. Why with the devil?
Well, to make a fair decision, I think you have to be aware of both sides. And I was broke, so of course I had a conversation. It didn't mean that, doesn't mean I rode with him or believed him. I just was able to recognize him by what he said to me and what he offered me. Oh, now I know you are. That's why I stopped talking to him. I put out 7 albums, but he only on 3. I first came to Arizona, man, and I remember one day coming from the studio at 6 o'clock in the morning and pulling over on the highway. We like 4 cars, just to watch the sunrise. And it was at that point that I fell in love with Arizona. I said, you know what, this has to be God's country. Because I've never seen anything as beautiful as that sunrise. Then I met the devil in God's country. And it's not so much who, it's what happens and the things that the devil does. It's not so much a person, even though he acts through people. You can't call one person the devil. You can't call any one person the devil. You can't do that because no one person has enough power to be the devil. And it's through all these hardships that I realized that, you know what? This is God's country because I met the devil here. Because if I hadn't met the devil here, I wouldn't realize I was strong enough to overcome the obstacles that the devil would place in my path.
Damn.
And it's by overcoming these obstacles that I realized that this is God's country. Because he helped me get over these obstacles. He helped me get over these hurdles.
Okay, so but when you're done here, when you're out of here,
I'm not looking back.
You're not coming back?
No, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back for a show. I'm not coming back for a visit. I'm not even driving through the states. If I'm in a plane and they're gonna fly over, I'm gonna go around, okay?
Now DMX knew what was at stake, but Coolio went even further. In a 2022 interview on Hip Hop Uncensored, Coolio said he was scared someone might actually come after his children if he exposed everything he knew about the industry's dark secrets. He also revealed that the industry big shots didn't think he was good enough to join their inner circle, but that didn't stop them from targeting him for those man-on-man industry parties.
How was it in the music industry? That whole conversation about the gatekeeper drill, the rituals, things people gotta do, blood sacrifice thing. I don't know if you got into all that, but you kind of go there, being as though you were in the delegate into the music industry.
I've read about
all of that. And I don't even say my truth. And you would think that with the height of success that I had and the things I was able to do, the amount of records I sold, and actually the amount of, I don't want to say political power, but the amount of social power that I was able to achieve, you would think that I would be a prime candidate for this to be, so we could call it something, to be a member of the Illuminati or a member of the elite society or whatever. You would think that they would come at me, and I think they did it sideways. Nobody never got at me directly and said, we want you to join us and we're doing this. That's never happened. But I will tell you, I've had motherfuckers come at me on some weirdo shit, like on some gay shit. I've had motherfuckers come at me on some, oh, you should do this type shit. And I was like, what? Baby, why the fuck would I do that? That made no sense. I view that as being inhuman. I view that as I would never do that. So, and then
Nigga
right
say,
there, there was some things that I was trying
and that's funny, bro.
to do that I felt were important, things that I felt would help other people.
What's even crazier is that after Coolio said no to those offers, his life went downhill fast. He got locked up on some petty charges, and on top of that, he became paranoid that his family was in danger.
After careful consideration, I decided to take my sponsorship talent to the
And they say that, okay, so they say that,
and on top
they
of
say
that,
when he passed away on an overdose. How do we know if that wasn't, they ain't giving the wrong shit, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, how we don't know what, you know what I'm saying? Like, it might be some nefarious shit with that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Who gave him the drug?
Being paranoid that his family was in danger.
Started happening to me. Went to jail for some bullshit. Got convicted. Well, not necessarily convicted, but because I didn't do no real time, but little happened, you know? And I didn't even address this really, because well, you know, and when you're a celebrity, bro, when something happens, whether it's true or it's not true, once it's been said, for most people it's true. Because people don't do research to find out if something is true about a person or not. Whatever they hear, they deem it to be true. So I didn't go hard on, oh, I didn't do that, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. That never happened. I just let it down, continued on my life. Also, I'm at a point right now in my life where there's a lot of shit I know that I want to tell people. It's a lot of things I want to teach, but I'm afraid. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm scared because I got 4 grandchildren. And I got children that are in this world. I got people I care about. And I got people that I care about that don't necessarily believe what I believe.
Yeah.
I have no fear of death. And I think that those that would oppose my beliefs, they've probably done enough. If somebody's after me or if somebody's watching me, then they know enough about me to know that I have no fear of death. So killing me don't mean it just confirms that what I said is true. But
damn,
I do have a fear of them hurting my family.
Damn.
So I'm mad about certain things. I don't talk about
Damn.
I know because I don't want nobody in my family to be hurt. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that to happen to my people. And If I owe them anything, I owe that to them.
That's deep.
I owe them you know, I owe them their lives to be able to live their life and not be subjected to any type of harm because of something I did or said. It's already happened once. You know, my oldest son did some time in prison, and he's sitting there. It was his first offense. And people would, like, I was going to court, and I seen people having cases that were way worse than his. And not even being their first case, and them getting off. And they didn't have a better lawyer than he had. Some of them had fucking PDs.
Damn.
But they got off.
Damn.
But whether they got off or not, it didn't matter to the world now. But by them doing what they did to my son, it made me shut the fuck up. I stopped talking about what I was talking about at that time because I felt like I was being, you know, and listen, I could be making it in my head. It could be something. I realized that I will never know whether it's true or not. But just to make sure that it didn't happen again, I backed off. And now, let me say, when I backed off, shit stopped happening. So I'm more inclined to believe that maybe I was right. You know, I mean, like I said, I can't say if it's true or not, but like I said, those things stopped happening to me. That kind of happened to me. I stopped getting them weird messages. I'm getting them weird emails. You know, I stopped having that feeling of being watched. You know what I mean? So I mean, it is what it is. But at the same time, I often wonder why if people get on the internet and they say just for attention, or they make up so that people will want to listen to what they have to say. And I bet you in at least 70, 85%, 70 to 80% of the times, they're doing it to get some attention. And then 10% of the time, people are telling the truth. I've seen some crazy, bro. I've seen some, like, wow, I've seen some, and you go, what the? Is this really happening right now?
And when asked if he really thought his family's lives were at risk after he spoke out, Coolio didn't hesitate and said
that nigga says this really happening right now.
What needs to be said, no matter the danger.
Is it fair to say, Coolio, that your celebrity is the reason why your voice is in danger? Like, it's and speaking someone's power. Is that the threat that comes to you, and it's the threat that is to them? Like, because you're a celebrity, the reason why you feel as though you can't speak and your family's life could potentially be in danger. Is that the reason? So in itself, it occurs.
Look, I've always been of the belief that
traveling solo is an adventure. But there's one thing that
I've always been of the belief that if you have an opportunity to reach that many people, then you have the obligation to give them something that they need. Now, with music, you give people what they need, because people hate. Most people don't like what they need. People like what they want. So I try to mix it up. I try to give people some of what they wanted, some of what they needed. I try to create this balance. So that's why I came out with the records the way I came out with them. I do some fun, try to do some fun. That was my belief. I felt that was my obligation to the listeners or to my core fan base. I had the obligation to say something that they could use in their life on a daily basis to help them. Not just was fun, or do some that was funny, or do some that was gangster. I had to do some real. So, and a lot of people don't give a. All they do is give people what they want. And if you look at music now, if you look at the world in general, from what I see, the balance is up right now. If there's a such thing as
the balance on right now, big dog. Like he passed away, but he don't know, bro. Kendrick done took this shit over. This shit, the balance is here. Balance is what's up. Shit. Look at that shit they got. They might have some. Let me see what they got. $5 months ago. No.
AIDS virus is a result of genetic warfare testing.
By American agents?
Absolutely.
Well,
Am I a conspiracy theorist? I'm a conspiracy theorist, all right.
A mystery disease known as the gay plague has become an epidemic unprecedented in the history of American medicine.
The average black successful man or woman really does not relate to the kids behind.
Economist Barry Bluestone is an expert on the polarization of the economy.
He had many young people who told us they would not push him through $20,000.
The other possibility is it came from a private sector laboratory for money. Because when they find the pill that you can take to let you do it again, somebody's gonna make some money.
A banned Will Smith interview just resurfaced that's been scrubbed off air for over 2 decades, where Will accused the U.S. government of using AIDS as a weapon to target black communities. Will didn't drop hints. He wasn't speaking in metaphors. He said it on camera, sitting across from Barbara Walters in 1998. And many believe this was the last known recording of the real Will Smith before they got to him. That Will in 98 was clear-eyed and outspoken. He talked about systemic racism and biological warfare, and he knew the dangers of speaking publicly about this. He even said it himself that once that Barbara Walters interview aired, they would come after him.
Because people are going to chase me after this. People are going to chase me.
Now fast forward to today and look at Will. From the Oscars slap that turned him into a global meme, to Jada's public entanglements, to that awkward music comeback no one asked for. Everyone is saying something happened to that old Will. Some are calling it a communicationitis, and others are even claiming Will was MK Ultra'd after that Barbara Walters interview. And this resurfaced clip from the interview didn't just randomly appear, it started circulating again after Will's recent bizarre antics, like releasing this weird new album that was slammed by critics as one of the worst ever, and dropping a corny diss track about Chris Rock.
But if you talk crazy out your face up on the stage and disrespect me on the stage, expect me on the stage. Jokers dish it out, cry foul when it's time to take it. A city full of real ones wasn't raised to fake it.
So now people are split. Some say Will's just spiraling under pressure. However, most fans think that Will's mental state has been slowly dismantled by the same forces he warned us about. Because it's easy to brush off what Will said in that Barbara Walters interview as conspiracy talk. However, that's only if you don't know about history, like the Tuskegee experiment, literal U.S. military memos about experimenting on black populations, and white colonizers admitting they deliberately spread AIDS to eradicate black Africans.
They need to inoculate people and
The idea being to kill black people?
Yeah, to eradicate black people.
All these are documented facts, and suddenly that crazy Will Smith interview doesn't sound so crazy anymore. So let's talk about exactly what Will said about AIDS to Barbara Walters. Because if Will was right, then the real question is, what happened to that Will? Who silenced him?
Do you believe in government conspiracy?
Oh, absolutely.
No, I'm serious.
No, definitely. No, oh my God.
I know I heard you did. Are you serious now?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm very serious. You can't tell.
You can't tell, no. Okay.
Old Barbara Walters' interview with Will Smith, in which he states that the AIDS virus is a result of genetic warfare testing, is making the rounds again.
I read that you felt that the government was deliberately spraying cold germs in subways, was deliberately trying to make people ill with the AIDS virus. This is pretty serious stuff. Do you really feel that?
Well, that's a good question. Well, I'm with Barbara Walters. Oh, that's a serious one. Okay, so I got it now because people are going to chase me after this. People are going to chase me. I believe that it is quite highly possible that the AIDS virus is a result of genetic warfare testing.
By American agents?
Absolutely.
And the look on Barbara Walters' face? You could tell she was trying to make him sound paranoid without directly saying it. She didn't question the facts. She just made it awkward, like he said something you're not supposed to say on TV. And then she immediately changed the subject.
Am I a conspiracy theorist? I'm a conspiracy theorist, all right. I didn't want to be a conspiracy theorist. I wanted to be regular.
Well, you're a little irregular. Serious stuff. Well, I wanted to ask you, can you make up rap just like that?
Now here's where it gets.
If you're a gamer, have you ever thought about quitting everything just to pursue gaming? Well, here's a quick hack on how to pursue playing video games.
If you don't mind, I'll have to game with you. Go to this website.
Now here's where it gets spooky. This interview basically disappeared. It never re-aired, no official clips, no promos. And even now you have to dig to find it today. You can't just type Will Smith AIDS on YouTube. It won't come up. You gotta know exactly what to search for. And even then, it's buried under a bunch of fluff, and that alone should tell you something. What's also weird is that just 2 months later, Will backtracked his comments in a December 1998 interview with Rolling Stone. And while he said that he still believes AIDS was made in a lab, he claimed he didn't mean that the government was targeting any group in particular. Will told Rolling Stone, "I said I felt that AIDS was created as a result of biological warfare testing. I said I felt that someone was messing around in a laboratory, trying to find biological weapons and created AIDS. I wasn't implying that it was targeted at a specific group. I said it managed to make its way to them." But the scariest part is that after that interview, Will never brought up this subject again. He never talked about AIDS in public. He stopped calling out the government. It's like someone pulled the plug. And now fans who grew up on the real Will Smith are asking what happened. Where's the guy who was speaking the truth on national TV? Why is the Will we see now only making headlines for his marriage drama?
As far as what?
You and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened?
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship?
Yes. It was a relationship. Absolutely.
This is not just a rebrand. It feels more like a reprogramming. But before we break down Will's disturbing transformation and the rumors that the MK Ultra handlers got to him, let's talk about why his original claims about AIDS weren't as crazy as Barbara Walters made them seem. Because when you look at history, the receipts are right there. Let's start with the one even the government had to admit to, the Tuskegee syphilis study. For 40 years, from 1932 to 1972, the U.S. Public Health Service ran an experiment on 600 black men in Alabama. They told them they were being treated for bad blood, but they were actually being studied to see what untreated syphilis would do to the human body.
In 1932, the United States Public Health Service launched an unethical research project to examine the effects of untreated syphilis. The project was called the Tuskegee Study because it recruited 600 black men living in Tuskegee, Alabama. Researchers told the men that they were being treated for bad blood.
And these men were never given proper treatment, even after penicillin was available.
They promised the men free medical treatment if they participated. While 2/3 of the men in the study were confirmed to have syphilis, not one received proper treatment for the disease they had contracted.
More than 100 men died. Some went blind, their families were infected, and nobody said a thing until a whistleblower came forward and leaked information to the press. So when Will said AIDS didn't come out of nowhere, that it felt like a weapon, he knew exactly what kind of history he was pulling from. But that's just one example out of many. There's also the epidemic. You can't bring up government sabotage without mentioning how suddenly flooded black neighborhoods in the 80s.
In both of the early morning papers, the headline for one says, "The Kitty Corp bust," and the second headline says, "Boy 10 busted for selling Pal 14 also seized."
Dell Shield speaks to a greater New York community in which, and especially, may now be the leading industry and the leading provider of high-paying jobs. Even for entry-level positions, such as woodcaps and caps, starting pay is $100 to $200 a day.
And as you probably know, this wasn't just a substance use problem, it was economic warfare. Entire communities were destabilized almost overnight.
Today, of course, the media have been mapping the growth industry of this era.
Hey, to illustrate how the industry's evolved, we're going to use the tools of the trade, a dollar bill and a mirror.
This is one way of depicting the economies of the past as a triangle, with most people in poverty near the bottom and fewer as you move toward prosperity and the top. Now, America introduced economic equality, a diamond-shaped economy, with most jobs in the broad working middle class and fewer above and below. But as we've lost good working class jobs in the middle, America has turned economic progress on its head, and we're moving toward an hourglass economy. There are more good jobs above, more bad jobs below, and it's becoming an increasingly tight squeeze moving from the bottom to the top.
And while the media was busy painting black people as criminals, declassified documents and first-hand accounts later tied CIA operations to illegal substance trafficking in Central America. These connections were exposed in the Dark Alliance series by journalist Gary Webb, who mysteriously ended up dead, supposedly unalived himself by 2 gunshots to the head. And according to Freeway, Ricky Ross's co-defendant Chico Brown, the CIA and mainstream media completely discredited Gary Webb before he even published his investigation.
I talked to him 2 days before he died. I talked to him every day. I'm the one who, because I got out of bail, so Gary came to visit me in Compton, in LA, to get some discovery from him. When the CIA dude came, I remember giving Gary all the information, so Gary wanted to get who it was, so I'm telling this whole story. But while I'm telling this story, the newspaper article came out, not the book yet. So it was like, I'm like, man, you're not scared for your life? You're not scared? Like, gee, I'm not scared, but you know, I understand. I'm like, man, because a lot of people have knocked at my door before that. I'm like, it's like, you know, once the article came out, it was a 3-page article about what happened. You know, LA Times wouldn't do it. You know, San Jose Mercury News. Okay. It was a 4-page article. Shows everything. He was right on point. But the LA Times come out a week later with the same kind of 4-page article saying that this didn't happen. So they discredit Gary. So you talking about the LA Times, Washington Post, Washington Times, and New York Times and the Washington Post discredited him. So now he looking like an idiot. Like his editor, they fired him, right? They discredited this whole story, like he made it up.
So that's pressure from the CIA.
Pressure from the CIA, like they end up letting him go, man. Like I'm talking to this man every day. You're like, Cheeto, there's people on my back pole. I don't know who they are. They've been here for 3-4 days. I'm like, damn, man, be careful. So 3 days later, I get a call from my daddy. Did you see what happened to Gary? He shot himself twice in the head. The man told me, Chico, I'm never gonna kill myself. I'm never gonna do that. I talk to this man all the time.
Wow.
So you start to see a pattern. It's not a stretch to believe that if they were willing to poison communities for control and profit, they'd go even further with biological weapons. And this should tell you that Will Smith wasn't speculating. He was connecting dots they've been trying to erase. But there's another disturbing case that directly ties to Will Smith's in 2009. 2019, a British documentary called Coldplay's Commerce Bureau premiered at the Sundance Festival. And it exposed how a white group called the South African Institute for Maritime Research was involved in spreading HIV intentionally among Black Africans during apartheid. The group had ties to Western intelligence, and the goal was population control. And one of the men who was part of this group actually admitted in the documentary that they spread HIV through vaccines because they wanted to eradicate Black people. So when Will dropped that bomb on Barbara Walters, saying AIDS was engineered as a weapon against Black communities, he wasn't just guessing. There are historical, documented truths behind this theory. Will's words weren't paranoia, they were a warning. But what really hits different is how Will told Barbara, they're gonna chase me after this.
Hey, what's up?
People are gonna chase me after this. People are gonna chase me.
And he wasn't joking.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
Just a random comment. Will
Just
knew
chilling there.
exactly what line he just crossed.
Listening
He
to
was aware
the
that
content, man. That's
especially
it,
on
bro.
that
Just
level,
chilling.
came with consequences. And based on his transformation after this interview, it's not crazy to think he got silenced. Whether it was through fear, pressure, or something darker, like some MK Ultra style psychological control, something definitely changed.
We out here on vacation in the Bahamas, another beautiful day. I want to talk to y'all for a minute about the power of perception. You see, there's a lot that goes in to being a hot social media content provider. For instance, y'all think I got time to go on vacation? No. I got social to do. Come on, man, this is blue screen. In fact, I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. I haven't looked like this good in years. I've been totally computer generated.
Damn. He put a clone.
Totally computer generated since like the 90s.
Will Smith, the truth teller, disappeared, and in his place we got this megastar who never again spoke on anything real. So it makes you wonder, was Will forced to fall in line, or did he choose to sign some contract and trade the truth for fame and fortune? Either way, Will never spoke about his AIDS theory again. Now looking back, Will's transformation didn't happen overnight, but the signs were there. After the Barbara Walters interview, Will's whole brand pivoted. No more raw, no more real, just shiny blockbusters and safe sound bites. He became Hollywood's golden boy, the likable, non-threatening Black lead, marketable and apolitical. They took the edge off him, packaged him, and sold him back to us. And for a while, Will played the role well.
No. What the hell?
Hi, Will. That was enjoyable. I had like a front row seat to that wonderful performance of yours.
Right? It was like you were like on stage.
On stage with
me.
Like I was chosen.
You were like you were the one.
But eventually, the cracks started showing. You had the bizarre interviews where Will sounded almost robotic, repeating the same, "I just want to spread love" line like a script.
The only answer is loving kindness. And most of us don't want to hear that.
Then came the constant overexposure and oversharing, YouTube vlogs, and motivational speeches. It was like watching someone trying to distract the world from something.
I'm here with my doctor. This is Dr. Ayla Stanford.
That is me.
Wow. We are in Miami, and I'm going to have a medical procedure tomorrow.
I'm going to have a colonoscopy.
The best part of this is when you come out the other end and start waking up. I will be sorry.
And then the whole red table circus started. Will sitting there getting humiliated by Jada, and then the two of them laughing about staying in a bad marriage for life.
I think it was about 4 years ago. Started a friendship with August. And we actually became really, really good friends. And from there, you know, you and I were going through a very difficult time.
We decided that we were going to separate for a period of time and you go figure out how to make yourself happy and I'll figure out how to make myself happy.
Well, at that particular point in time, it was indefinite.
Yeah, I really felt like we could be over.
No, we were over.
And then what did you do, Jada?
I got into a different kind of entanglement with August.
An entanglement?
Yes. The one thing I'll say about you and I is that there's never been secrets.
Right.
We ride together.
We
together. Bad marriage for life.
That wasn't
Damn,
transparent.
I never seen it. Oh man, I must have hit the wrong thing. Yeah, like, but
When people thought it couldn't get more unhinged, the Oscars slap happened. Will completely lost it and slapped Chris Rock on live TV. All over a week joke.
I never seen that whole interview. They told me
Here is an
something
angle
bad
most
marriage for
people
life.
have not seen. Look at Jada's reaction.
It was a G.I. Jane. Keep my first name out of the I'm going to, okay?
The whole thing was so bizarre and out of character that it really looked programmed. And what came after was even weirder. Will's staged apology, a spiritual healing tour, and now a diss track aimed at Chris, as Will is desperately trying to make his musical comeback.
Big Will. Charlie Smiles in the building. Y'all still sleeping on me like red-eye flights. I ain't a prima donna, I just ain't with all the drama. I took the little Ali, mixed it up with Obama. Road to success, navigated the narrative. Raised 3 kids, made it through 2 marriages. Oscars, Emmys, Grammys, and when I stare at them, hearing them whisper, you got every right to be arrogant. Now I'm not the type of man to move in malicious ways. But if you talking crazy out your face up on the stage and disrespect me on the stage, expect me on the stage. Jokers dish it out, cry foul. Oh my God! I am the
And now everyone is saying the same thing. This is not the same Will Smith we knew and loved. And he doesn't look like a man in control of his legacy. He looks like a man being used and controlled. It really seems like that Will who told Barbara Walters, they're gonna chase me after this, isn't just gone. But he's been replaced with this empty version who's allowed to speak only when it serves the machine. And this is just the beginning. Because the deeper you go into Will's timeline, the clearer it gets. The handlers, the humiliation rituals, the ties to Diddy's twisted inner circle, it's all connected.
AIDS virus is a result of genetic warfare testing.
By American agents?
Absolutely.
Will
in particular Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Did He Do It?
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Because not all women get it. Some moms do like women, but they get freaks.
That's why I'm going to the country parties. They can hug you from the front and the back of the seat now. What you talking about? Look, if you're into that, I'm fine with it. Keep it going. I'm just saying, this ain't my motherfucking kind of party.
Saying so, 50, I'm coming for your ass, bruh.
Y'all, 50 Cent just dropped a bomb on the industry, and this one got names, faces, and footage. Because in the video he just leaked, we see Diddy, his alleged trans ex, and yes, Busta Rhymes himself, standing front and center like he's the ringleader of it all. This ain't just Diddy throwing secret parties anymore. Busta Rhymes has been exposed as one of the hosts. And get this, insiders claim he wasn't just organizing the events, he was allegedly sharing his young fanboys with Diddy behind the scenes. But that's not even the wildest part. Tony Newman, a former trans escort, has now come forward and she's naming names. And it's not just Puffy she's calling out. Mr. C involved called. LL Cool J also mentioned. And the story she's telling, it's giving underground freak-offs, secret deals, and full-blown industry cover-ups. And of course, 50 Cent couldn't sit quiet. He's throwing gas on the fire, leaking receipts, and exposing the
all
dirty
this
underworld
alleged.
rappers thought
All
would
this
stay
shit
hidden
alleged.
forever. Plus teasing that he will have shown some of it in his Did He Do It documentary, the footage, the confessions, the testimony.
Oh, I've been listening to the clips.
And Busta is looking real nervous in the background.
I've been listening to
So let's talk about this video 50 Cent just dropped, allegedly recorded during one of those
clips.
now infamous freak
I've been
on
listening
style parties.
to,
The clip shows Diddy, his alleged trans ex, and Busta Rhymes all at the same
Belly
event.
Gang, Cushington, and that's probably about it right now.
And the energy was off. Not just partying, this was a whole production. And according to sources close to the situation, this is just the tip of what 50's been sitting on. And now, it all makes sense why 50 Cent has always said he doesn't attend Diddy's parties.
That's why I'll be going to the movie parties. He can hug you from the front and the back and the seat down. Tell me what. If you're into that, I'm fine with it. He's on. I'm just saying to see my motherfucking kind of wild.
He's been dropping hints for years, joking about fruity vibes, making fun of those weird after-party invitations, side-eyeing Diddy's industry friendships. Now the leaks are matching the energy. And guess what? Busta Rhymes hasn't been spared either. Because 50 didn't just troll Diddy. He's clowned Busta Rhymes too, multiple times. From the leather outfits to the muscle thirst traps to that touch it, bring it attitude Busta always had, 50 been throwing shade. And back then, people thought it was just jokes. But now that the footage is surfacing, it's looking like 50 knew the truth all along.
But 50 also know I'm not gonna stop. The same way he not gonna stop, I'm not gonna stop. We both come from a family called Violator family. So we ain't got no problem violating.
When Busta tried to clap back, saying it was all friendly banter, folks let it slide. But now, that moment where Busta said he was gonna come for 50's ass, people are looking at that real sideways, like maybe he literally meant it. Because listen, let's bring in Tony Newman for a second.
And I just announced about two people who me and my female escort. I work with a female.
Tony is a former transgender escort, author, and activist who's been telling the truth about the entertainment industry for years. And according to her, some of hip-hop's most powerful men were, and still are, living double lives. She says multiple insiders, including former Bad Boy employees, confirmed that Diddy is bi, allegedly messing with both women and men behind the scenes. And that little phrase she used, because if Diddy's in the mix and Busta's been tight with him all these years, you start connecting the dots.
Work for Bad Boy, who now departed, engaged who were in Bad Boy, who had been told he was.
Hold on, bro.
What if
women, so we would have to be bisexual. I heard Sean Tony's exact message.
And let's not forget, when those videos of Diddy putting hands on Cassie started going viral, Busta Rhymes was one of the first people to defend him, publicly, excusing the behavior, saying people were rushing to judge. Confusion. But when she started talking publicly, LL's team Tony says they sent cease and desist letters to her management, threatening legal action if she didn't keep his name out her mouth.
Another cease and desist letter or something. We have to be all included. My whole team again after I did the New York interview.
And here's where it gets even messier. Diddy and Busta Rhymes allegedly pulled the same move. Tony says both of them tried to silence her when she started speaking on what she'd seen and experienced firsthand. This industry doesn't just protect secrets, it buries them. Let's not forget, when the Cassie Hotel video dropped, there were reports that Diddy paid $50,000 to hotel staff to keep the footage under wraps. So if they tried to hide that, imagine what else they've paid to make disappear. Tony also mentioned mentioned that one of Biggie Smalls' close friends was openly gay, but that his identity was never made public, protected, hidden, like everything else.
I look at his entourage of Biggie Smalls. Had a gay guy, Mr. C's ever.
A lot of undercover brothers in the industry. It just hits different. She wasn't talking about brothers hiding drug deals. She was implying men hiding that they're into men.
Do you think it's a lot of undercover brothers in the industry?
Oh no, Queen. We don't know nothing about undercover.
These parties, because word on the street, Busta Rhymes wasn't just attending these events, he was hosting them regularly, allegedly. And according to multiple sources, including insiders close to those circles, Busta had a very particular type he brought in. And no, it wasn't bottle girls or Instagram models. It was young men. And one of the people who confirmed this publicly, Big Homie Double C. Now this man used to be tight with industry security circles. He's seen it all, and he didn't beat around the bush. He said, point blank, Busta used to make strange requests in the club. Not for drinks, not for dancers, but for young men to be brought into his VIP section.
That's my thing, but like this been common knowledge though. Like all my promoter homies would always say, we gotta bring some we gotta bring some, what they call them, I'm not gonna say that, but they call them fun boys. They'll say we gotta have some fun boys in the section for Busta.
And suddenly, all those rumors about Busta sharing his fanboys with Diddy start making a whole lot more sense. Allegedly, these weren't just casual guests. They were handpicked, gift-wrapped, passed around like party favors. And that brings us to someone whose name has been getting side-eyed for years now, Orlando Brown. Now let me slow this part down, because yes, Orlando has said a lot of outlandish stuff over the years. Some of it's been chaotic, some of it messy, some of it downright unhinged. But let's be real, the man has never lied about the energy in the room. And years ago, Orlando Brown claimed he slept with Busta Rhymes. Here's the clip.
We made love.
Who you made love with?
Diddy, Bow Wow, Busta Rhymes.
You just told me you see Busta at the airport too.
At the time, people laughed it off. Oh, he's just spiraling again. He's clout chasing. But now that even escorts are testifying, videos are leaking, and industry names are getting exposed left and right, suddenly, Orlando ain't sounding so crazy anymore. And here's what people are starting to believe. Orlando may have been one of the fanboys brought into these parties, allegedly invited by Diddy, passed around, and then handed over to others in the room, including Busta. From what Orlando's hinted at over the years, it wasn't just some one-night stand. He's alluded to being used, pimped out, and exposed to some dark industry practices. And if that's true, it paints a very disturbing picture. And here's where it gets real interesting, because for someone allegedly doing all this behind closed doors, Busta Rhymes has always been real loud when it comes to shutting down conversations about bedroom preferences, if you know what I mean. Let's rewind to 2006. He was accused of using a homophobic slur against a male fan at a bar. Then, just a year later, in 2007, during a radio interview, he stormed out when the host brought up homophobia in hip-hop. Not a debate, not a disagreement, he just got up and left. That kind of overreaction had folks scratching their heads even back then. And now, with everything coming to light, people are looking at those moments very differently. Because when someone reacts that strongly to a basic question, it starts to feel less like discomfort and more like defensiveness. Especially when we've got footage, testimony, and eyewitness accounts piling up like this.
You know, whatever that man does in his personal space is that man's choice and it's that man's business.
And it doesn't end there, because the tapes, they might already be out there. Rumors have been swirling for a while now that footage from Diddy's freak-off parties was being sold on the dark web. Allegedly, some of these tapes include well-known artists, high-profile guests, and very compromising moments. And guess who people think got a copy? 50 Cent. Word on the street is 50 may have gotten his hands on some of those tapes, and that he might be holding on to them for something bigger, something strategic. Because don't forget, 50 is producing a full-blown Diddy expose documentary titled Diddy Do It. He already sold the rights to Netflix, and from what insiders are saying, the release is being timed to drop right after the Diddy trial ends.
In particular, Netflix docuseries that you've been working on.
But that's a crazy thing.
You've been
Like,
saying
this
for
came
years.
out. This came out before the verdict, but like now, like how's it going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it going to try to further incriminate them? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is it going to look like now? So that's crazy. Like what is it going to look like now?
Diddy's character.
There's even another clip going out there of one of Diddy's star-studded parties. And yes, you could even see the faces of the attendees, so check it out. Now, if those tapes really are part of evidence or even part of the documentary, that would explain why certain people are suddenly going silent and why others are scrambling behind the scenes. And speaking of footage, let's talk about this clip that went viral not too long ago. Busta Rhymes, Diddy, Coy, Leray, all in one room. Just another chill industry dinner until Busta hits Diddy with that little go ahead big bro shoulder tap. You know the one. Caught the vibe. Busta was standing behind Coy. Diddy was smiling a little too hard and looked visibly uncomfortable. It was the body language, the timing, the way Busta nudged Diddy like he was passing her off. And just like that, accusations started flying. Fans saying Busta allegedly tried to pimp Coy out, the same way insiders say he used to hand over those fanboys to Diddy at the club. And unfortunately, that's not the only clip making the rounds. Because Busta's interaction with Jeremy, that video keeps resurfacing too. In it, Busta's trying to be playful, but Jeremy looks uncomfortable. Like, clearly. At one point, Busta literally leans in and sniffs him. And you can see Jeremy awkwardly try to play it off, but the vibe is weird. Now, to be fair, some fans say it was just Busta being goofy, but in context, with everything else going on, it doesn't feel so harmless anymore. Now here's the thing, it's been weeks since Diddy's legal drama officially hit the courts. And guess who's gone completely silent? Busta Rhymes. Not a single word. No interviews, no comments, no social media updates, nothing. And allegedly, that's because he's terrified of being subpoenaed. People close to the situation are saying Busta is staying as far away from the spotlight as possible.
Okay, so hey, check this out. Y'all can be in the Carmen Cafe. I want y'all to like, subscribe, share, hit notification piece. Hey, y'all come back. I'll be back with lives